A major development in the Michael Jackson wrongful death trial. A judge drops 2 AEG executives from the negligence lawsuit Jackson's mother filed. But Eyewitness News reporter Miriam Hernandez says the judge also gave the go-ahead for the case to proceed against the company that produced the pop star's ill-fated tour.
A partial victory for AEG. The lawsuit that claimed the 2 top AEGlive executives were personally liable for Michael Jackson's death was rejected by Judge Yvette Palazuelos this morning. AEG defense attorney Marvin Putnam.
Well, I think it's great.
Yet the judge also ruled that Katherine Jackson's lawsuit proceeds against AEGlive Corporation. Jackson attorney Brian Panish.
I was a little bit surprised that the judge ruled that way. Disappointed. I don't know that I would characterize it as that.
For 4.5 months, the panel has viewed conflicting portrayals of AEG's role in allegedly hiring Conrad Murray, the doctor who caused Michael Jackson's death with an overdose of the anesthetic propofol. The Jackson attorneys have claimed that there were red flags, that AEG should have known Jackson had a history of abusing meds, should have monitored the doctor, and that the executives, Paul Gongaware and Randy Phillips, were personally involved.
When does the CEO of a production or promoter of concerts start dealing with an artist doctor?
The defense asserts that AEG execs wanted answers from the doctor when Jackson turned up ill at a rehearsal, but that AEG had no legal right to tell Jackson who he could hire as his personal physician.
This is a negligent hiring case. Therefore, you have to have hired someone. Paul Gongaware did not hire Dr. Conrad Murray. Randy Phillips did not hire Dr. Conrad Murray, ever.
The question now, how will the removal of the 2 defendants from the case affect the jury? Legal analyst Barry Edwards.
They're going to be thinking about if the evidence is the conduct of Phillips and Gongaware, why aren't they still in the case?
And still more developments. The defense for AEG says they plan to call Prince Jackson and Katherine Jackson to the stand when the trial resumes next week.
Why is it that she decided to sue for $40.2 billion? I mean, there are all these submissions by her for $40.2 billion. Why is it? What was she thinking, if not greed?
Miriam Hernandez, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
The judge dismissed 2 executives from the Michael Jackson wrongful death trial against AEGlive. KCAL9's Randy Page shows us why it's a legal victory for both sides.
Until today, there were 3 named defendants in the Jackson family versus AEGlive wrongful death case. Now, there is 1. Superior Court Judge Yvette Palazuelos ruled in favor of AEG's motion to drop AEGlive CEO Randy Phillips and co-CEO Paul Gongaware from the lawsuit. She also ruled the case will be decided by the jury with 1 remaining defendant, AEGlive.
Well, I think it's great.
AEG's lead attorney Marvin Putnam spoke to us today just before making the call to tell Phillips and Gongaware they are now personally off the hook.
I expect they'll be very excited, though at the same time, I mean, I'll be frank with you. They have done everything in their power, these plaintiffs have, to run their names and run their good reputation through the mud with false accusations all over the place that the court has just deemed legally irrelevant.
The judge again has found that there's substantial evidence that AEG knew or should have known that Dr. Murray would violate his oath.
Jackson family lead attorney Brian Panish says the ruling was actually in their favor.
It'll change nothing in the case other than, contrary to AEG, they wanted the case thrown out. They felt that the judge should not allow the case to go to the jury. They lost.
Attorneys for AEG say they plan to wrap up their defense in this case next week by calling 2 of Michael Jackson's family members. 1 is his son, Prince.
There are a lot of misstatements by Prince Jackson. It's really unfortunate. He was a child who clearly has been influenced by a number of people in his life to perhaps say things that weren't quite the truth.
And the woman who brought this suit into court, Jackson family matriarch, Katherine.
There are all these submissions by her for $40.2 billion. Why is it? What was she thinking, if not greed?
Brian Panish's reaction that his clients could be the final 2 defense witnesses?
Go ahead. I hope they do. I hope they do.
In downtown Los Angeles, Randy Page, KCAL9 News.